On the 15th of May, in the city of Zar, in the heat of the day, in the cool of his car, he was singing, enjoying the city's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped singing. He looked toward the sound.
That's funny,
thought Horton.
There's just a toy on the ground.
Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help.
I'll help you,
said Horton.
But who are you? Where?
He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a limp plastic toy being given no care.
I say,
murmured Horton.
I've never heard tell of a limp plastic toy that is able to yell. So you know what I think, what I truly believe, is that there is a person inside who's in need, because, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
So gently, and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the woman and carried her over and placed her down softly like a war-torn soldier. Humph! Humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Humph too! Why, that toy should be chucked in the garbage today. A woman that is, that's the joke of the day.
Believe me,
said Horton.
I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen, and I heard her quite clearly. I know she's a woman, and, what's more, quite likely she's feeding a family of 4, a family with children just starting to grow. So please,
Horton said,
please, just go.
I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too, you're the weirdest by far in the city of Zaw. And the kangaroos laughed as they hopped past the car, yelling obscenities, flip, 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 to those near and far. Through the high jungle rooftops, the news quickly spread. He talks to toy! He's out of his head. Just look at him drive with that limp plastic doll. And Horton drove worrying, made fun of by all. But Horton remembered the greatest lesson of all. A person's a person, no matter how small. Horton stopped driving. The woman was talking. He listened in closely. Her mouth was unlocking.
My friend,
came her voice.
You're a very fine friend. You've given me courage when I was reaching my end. You saved my spirit, and truly, what's more, you've given me love and opened a door. I know,
Horton said.
You have feelings, it's true. Oh, yes,
piped her voice.
I most certainly do. To me,
called her voice.
Some choose not to see, but I am as human can be. Our feelings to the Roos don't matter at all, but to us the sex workers, they are far from small. I work on the streets as a prostitute. To most I am nothing more, so I am grateful for you. I do this for a living. It's not my choice, you see. I need it for survival, for my family, for me. I live a life plagued by judgment and pain. For me, love and care is hard to attain. Those kangaroos make a mockery of me. Do they not see how alike we may be? We all have hearts that beat, voices that need to be heard. But to them I am nothing, my existence absurd. I want them to see me as more than just small. I am a person with value. I want to stand tall. There is more to me than how I earn my living. I wish they understood, but they stand unforgiving. Horton, I want to thank you for the compassion you shared. There is part of me now that isn't so scared. You've shown me how it feels to be accepted and heard. If they all learned from you, my heart could be cured.
Horton replied back to the girl, all of his feelings whirling up in a whirl.
I am so sorry, it's undoubtedly true. I can't imagine feeling the way that you do. You are right when you say that we're all the same. It should not matter your size, where you come from, your name. They should not judge you by the struggles you face. The way that they treat you is a true disgrace. I admire your courage, your drive, your dedication. One day your stories will help move this nation. No one should be seen as just an object of desire, and to me you are much more. I promise I'm no liar. I hope these kangaroos learn to realize your beauty. I will show them you are worthy. I will make it my duty.
Humph! Humped a voice. You've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who's never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceable jungle. We've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. That isn't a woman. It has no voice. We will stop all this nonsense. You don't have a choice. And I'm here to state, snapped the big kangaroo, that your silly, nonsensical game is all through. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, Me too! With the help of our kangaroo brothers and dozens of kangaroo uncles and kangaroo cousins and kangaroo in-laws whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. And as for your toy doll, ha! That we shall boil in hazelnut oil.
Boil her?
Gasped Horton.
Oh, that you can't do. She's a person, a human. She'll prove it to you.
So the woman stood up to face this large crowd, and she spoke with much courage. She said it so proud.
You all look at me like I am different from you. You don't know much about me, just the work that I do. It's true my job may not be as appealing as most. I sell myself for money, and my body is the host. I don't do it to be sexy, provocative, or free. I do this work because it's available to me. Just like you, I need profit in order to get by. When I am desperate for survival, this job I won't deny. To my customers, my body is no more than a machine. To them, I am not heard, I am only seen. My voice becomes quiet as my body does the talking. It's the only way they'll listen, it's how I keep them flocking. You see, I am stripped down to just an object of lust, where I must share myself to those I don't trust. I accept that I need this in order to survive. See how it has helped me? It has kept me alive. It is not easy, the job that I do, and there is not much that I am asking from you. But please, oh please, stop seeing me as small. The battles I've overcome have proven I'm tall. I have a nose that smells, I have eyes that can see, and I always notice the way you're looking at me. I have feet that can walk and ears that can hear, and the things that you say can bring me to tears. I have a body that I use to make money, it's true, but I also have a heart, just like you do. And my heart and my soul and everything in between can prove that I am just human, a thought so serene. We need to work together to avoid this oppression. How beautiful would it be if we all learned this lesson?
In the dimness of the darkened sight, a street lamp turned on, illuminating night, and the elephant smiled.
Do you see what I mean? She's proved she's a person who deserves to be seen.
And her whole world was saved by their hearts reinstalled. How true! Yes, how true, said the big kangaroo. And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do. From now on, I'm going to respect her with you. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too! From sun in the summer to wind in the fall, I'm going to respect her through it all. Sexual exploitation is not about sex. It is about the power and control one has over another. Since the act of prostitution has traditionally been considered voluntary, it has often been perceived as a victimless crime. Yet the life of a sex worker is frequently characterized by exploitation, violence, substance abuse, and disease. A review of the statistical evidence of violence against sex workers has indicated that the Criminal Code of Canada contributes to the legal structures that tend to make sex workers responsible for their own victimization, whereby sex workers deserve what they get. Sex work is chained to many stereotypes and much prejudice, which preserve the horror stigma attached to this population. This stigmatization propels the isolation, violence, and marginalization that these women and transgendered individuals face, while compromising their dignity as human beings. Many view sex workers as a nuisance to society. Our political system and media outlets perpetuate the destructive myth that sex workers are subhuman objects and that their victimization can and should be silenced. Sex workers are human beings who would benefit from prejudice-free services, public interactions, and media attention. We need to challenge the prejudice, not the person.